join me as a welcome a startup operator and founder of Tech Girl Magic, Yvonne Ogulu. I hope I got that right. Please put your hands together for her.
All right. All right. Hi, everyone. All of you that chose to stay in here, kudos to you because money is very important. Money conversations are very important. So, and this is going to be a very interesting one. So I'm just going to get right to introducing our speakers. So I'm going to start with Oluchukwu Chiadaka. I hope I got that right. Your personal finance girl. Please let's put our hands together for her. Okay. Then we'll have Toby Loba, OJ, financial literacy and investment analyst. It's a round of applause for him. And finally, we'll have Oyinkansola Badejo. Okay, yeah, welcome. These are financial gurus, so you guys are in for a treat. How you all feeling, by the way? Great.
Nervous.
Okay, good. Yeah, so before we start off, I just want to ask if you are, just a quick icebreaker, basically. So if you are someone that if you get your salary now, in 1 or 2 weeks, in fact, 48 hours is gone, raise your hand. That was fast. That was very fast. Okay, who else? Okay, if you're like me, you're a shopaholic, raise your hand. Seriously, like nobody shops a lot here. Okay, the ladies. The money's not enough. Okay. And if you are, lastly, if you are somebody like me as well, like you keep budgeting, but the budgeting is not, the math is not massing. Who else? Because my hand is very up for that one. Like I'm tired of budgeting and, I'm a big saver, but the budgeting just doesn't budget. So we're going to go right into the questions. We're going to start with understanding the problem. Why is it that we keep on budgeting? It's not adding up. Is it Nigeria? Is it tax? Different things, right? So why are young people always broke? Starting with you, Oyinkansola, why do you think many young professionals still struggle financially, even when we are earning more than our parents did? Do you think that's correct, by the way? And why do you think we are always broke?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Why are people struggling financially? I think the major and most obvious reason is the economy. Obviously, the economy is not as great, and it keeps going down. So yeah, that's like the number one reason. But also, a lot of young people are not as financially literate as they should be, especially with this generation. I think I've made a couple of videos where I talked about how nothing about personal finance is taught in schools. Nothing about personal finance is taught in the university. And this is an important skill to have if you're going to actually build wealth. There's no two ways around it. Knowledge is power. If you don't have it, you just don't know what to do, right? So that's like another thing. A lot of Nigerian professionals know close to nothing about what's even going on in the economy. They know nothing about currency depreciation. They know nothing about how to preserve the money that they have, how to grow it, how to save and invest, where to save. And they don't even know the options available to them to invest. So that's like another major reason. So while the economy is doing this thing, there's the factor of financial illiteracy, and it's really, really, really bad, especially in Nigeria and Africa at large, actually. So that's one thing. And I also urge a lot of young people to try to make an effort to learn about personal finance and how money works. Money is a tool, but most people don't see it as that, right? Money is actually a tool. So when you start to learn about money, how it works, it opens your mind to like the possibilities, and then you start seeing things differently. That scarcity mindset goes away. So that's like another thing. Also, we cannot take away bad spending habits. There's obviously bad spending habits, and if you don't intentionally try to stop yourself, especially as you're growing up to be an adult, and you want to probably have kids someday, you need to work on your spending habits. You just need to. So that's like, I think those are the major three things: the economy, financial literacy, and bad spending habits. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really agree with that. A round of applause for her, please, because illiteracy is actually a big problem, and financially, and that's why we have a lot of content creators now that, not a lot actually, because financial literacy is something that people don't even have knowledge for. You actually have to be a finance person or really go deep into it. So that brings me to my next question for you, Toby. Why do you think people find it so hard to get education in finances? Like, people are broke, they can't budget well, but yet they will still not go and find out, the knowledge that will help them concerning it.
Okay, thank you very much. So what I'm going to say is that it's really essential that we all live below our means. And I feel like a lot of people are being pressured, to actually prove a point to others when it comes to probably feeling among, in the society. So, for example, if I know that I quite know well that my financial status is not really something that I know is of, high standard that can be contained within a very good structure, what do? I try as much as possible not to try to live my life to impress other people. You need to have this sense of understanding that whatever goes on, for example, in an economy like Nigeria, you need to understand that what inflation happens, is one of the biggest killer of this economy. And being able to understand that when it comes to inflation, you need to learn to be able to cut unnecessary expenses out of your budget. And I feel like a lot of people today, when I come on social media, I see like a lot of people are like, when you try talking about finance, you try talking about, you could start from somewhere, you could start from the little you have. A lot of people come at you and be like, you are daydreaming, what are you saying? You don't know what you are saying, and stuff like that. Because why? We've been brainwashed right from a younger age to believe that when it comes to financial literacy, it's not something that everyone wants to talk about because they feel like, I'm earning too little to be able to what? To be able to plan ahead for my future. And I feel like if you actually want to, attain that status where you begin to live away from, going from being broke to being at a point where you can be able to have something for your future, you need to be intentional about it. I could come here and teach you about personal finance, telling you that, this is the more reason why you are broke. But if you are not determined to change, if you probably not feel like, I need to be financially disciplined, I need to be able to know that this little income I have, I can make something out of it. At the end of the day, you will remain stuck at that particular point, and that's the simple truth. So you have to be honest to yourself that, I'm currently at this point where I need to figure out certain things about myself. And the moment when you begin to look at those things you need to figure out about yourself, then you begin to have a different thought towards what it means like to become financially literate. And very honestly, I see like a lot of you come online. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to banter anyone, but I feel like a lot of people come online. They're always there for the gossip, but never there to talk about finance, never there to understand what finance can actually do for them in years to come. So if you're at that point where you know that what your life is just like you are putting your life together, probably finance is not good, even if you are struggling, just try to have a good understanding of the financial knowledge, because at the end of the day, when you get to that position where you begin to make most of those income, your brain begins to tell you that, this is what you should be doing, this is what you ought not to be doing. So that's why I say it's very essential for you to live below your means. Whether you are broke, whether you are trying to scale from a point where you need to become more financially disciplined, you need to understand that it starts from the small steps you take. So I understand that a lot of us comes online because we want to save ourselves from the likes of depression, probably overthinking about life and everything. But also, I'll tell you that excessive data, spending too much on data, spending too much of a lot of things, we keep making you get stuck in that particular cycle. So you need to understand that you need to cut unnecessary expenses and stay within your means to be able to attain something at the end of the day. You can start from somewhere. So if you have 5K, you have 10K, and you are starting with something, I believe that at the end of the day, you should be able to manage what you're starting with. Your income. So if you're starting with something, sorry, that's just an example. I'm not telling you that you earn 5K at the end of the day. But I'm telling you that if you are starting with any small income, you need to be able to have that intentionality within yourself that this money is small, but let me look at how I can work around it. So when you get a bigger income, you'll be able to make sense of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Key point, being intentional. And by this year, I was at Carrie White's office, and they have this book, a book of money or something like that by Okwe. I picked it up. I said I'm going to read this book because I need to learn more about investing, and it was very insightful to me. So just learning, like there's so many resources online to learn about, building money habits. Just take advantage of it. So over to you, Oluchukwu. I'm an Igbo baby. I don't know why I'm murdering your name. Okay, so the question is, what will you say the money traps are for people in their 20s particularly? What are money traps for us?
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. So, I want to believe that the median age here would be, let's say, 25. All of us are around the same age. So, what is that thing that we're doing with our money that we're not supposed to be doing with our money? If you listen to the first two speakers, they pretty much already covered it. But I'm going to touch on it in real-life examples. Number one, when our salary goes up, our expenses go up. Each and every one of us in this room, I can tell you for a fact that when you had 50K, you were able to survive with 50K. You probably have 500K now, and you're wondering, why is the economy bad? What is going on? That is one trap that a lot of us have unconsciously found ourselves in. Another thing would be going ahead with the Joneses. So because my friend likes to go out every Friday, I would also have to go out every Friday. When you know that, in the real sense, you can only afford to go out once every 2 weeks or once a month. So the money that you're supposed to use and eat, you use it and go out week 1 Friday. The one that you're supposed to use for transportation, you use it and go out week 2 Friday. And there's that part where your friends might be earning more than you, or they might not be earning more than you. They just have supply of money from different places. But you only have one source of income. That is a trap. Always trying to keep up with each and every other person in our life and not prioritizing what matters to us the most. And then another thing I feel like we don't talk about in our 20s is how we think that it is wrong to talk about money publicly. I was talking to somebody last week, and I'm like, in my household, when we became adults, I know how much my mom has. I know how much my elder sister has. I know how much my younger brother has. Why? Somehow, we found a way to be transparent. And this did not in any way ruin the dynamics of our relationship, because we knew that at the end of the day, if push comes to shove, these are the people that is going to back me up. So we don't have that money circle where we can talk about money freely. There are many people that, since you got promoted, you changed job 3 times, there is no one person in your life right now that knows how much you earn. And what does this do for each and every one of us? Unnecessary expenses come up, and we have to keep with it. Because we're trying to keep up face that, Shebi, you already changed job 3 times. Why don't you have money to pay for this? So these are like very little trap that I'm pretty sure that at least two of these things, somebody in this room has had to go through it. And it is something that shouldn't happen. And the reason why it's happening is because we do not talk about money. Because there is shame, there is guilt, there is, I do not want to be judged. Meanwhile, the help that you seek might just be from Onyi's, Onyi would have a story about how she was able to navigate how they were always billing her, and she found balance. Toby would have been able to tell you that, if you're in this stage and your guy is making you to spend money that you're not supposed to spend, this is what you should do. So these are very simple. I think these are like the top 3 that I've had to work with people, and we've always had to work on trying to stop keeping up with family and friends, stop trying to do black tax, stop trying to live in the moment and go to the rank. December is coming. If it's only one place you can go to, please go to that place and sit down at home and eat chicken. Nobody is doing competition with another person, because one thing I just found out is, or I don't know why it clicked in my head, is you see this life all of us are living. There is no manual. We are all here for the first time. Why are you trying to now look up to somebody else to do something? So please try as much as possible not to put yourself under undue pressures, and try to put your personal finance at something that is personal. It is your own, not for your friend, not for family, not for let's say, loved ones and all of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, so let's move on to like building habits that are sustainable, right? Because many times we say, okay, tomorrow I'll save, next week I'll save, next month, but the next month never comes. So I'm going to start with you, Toby. How can somebody build build discipline for saving versus investing? Because sometimes, particularly in a low economic, this kind of economy, people are not earning so much. Felix said and people are dragging him, but it's the truth. People are underpaid, actually. Many people are underpaid, and they are striving to increase their income. So if you're earning like 200K, 150K or so, how can you, in a month, you take out saving, take out investment? Is it realistic? Like, is it very realistic? And some people are still, taxed with black tax, different things, paying different bills. So break it down for us. How can we build discipline that way?
Okay, thank you very much. So let me start like this. I used to tell people in my community that it's okay for you to save, but also know that investing will make you grow your money for long-term wealth. Now, let me say your savings will actually protect you, but on the long run, your investments will actually grow wealth for you. So, there is one thing I said when I started. I said you have to be intentional. Now, I said when it comes to personal finance, it's a personal journey to every one of us, and it's a matter of choice. I could probably tell you this is how to go about it, this is what to do, but if you are not determined to be able to look at these practical steps I'm about to tell you, at the end of the day, you will just make fun of it and be like, oh, if he is now, you self do am. But I'll tell you that I've been there before, and I understand exactly what I'm telling you. So let me start by telling you that when it comes to, being able to build that habit, the first thing I'll tell you is that it's very necessary for you to develop the habit of automation. Now, automation is very powerful, and most of us, sometimes when we receive salaries, I believe that, we manually feel like, oh, probably I planned last month that once I receive my salary, I'm probably going to spread this across different accounts. Probably this account is allocated for expenses, probably for transport, data, what have you, and probably I have lifestyle, I might want to attend one event like this event, and I have something planned that okay, I need to attend this event because it adds value to my life. And also, I have my investment account. How should I, distribute this money accordingly? But I feel like a lot of people want to do that manually, whereas at the end of the day, emergencies could set in, and you feel like, I'll probably do this thing next time, probably when my next salary comes in, and then the procrastination keeps coming on and on. But like I said, automation is very powerful. So you just have to have this mindset that, okay, I now have to connect my cards, probably my debit card, to, different accounts that automatically debit my salary once it enters. So, okay, I've set it that for my emergency fund, I'll tell you that it's very, very crucial and very, very important for you to have an emergency fund. A lot of people want to come into the investment space, but at the end of the day, they are not, much inclined to know that your emergency fund will actually set the bridge for you between you actually saving and you actually investing. So I want you to have this mindset that it's very important for you to have an emergency fund. And when it comes to emergency fund, let me tell you why it's important. Life circumstances happen, unforeseen circumstances happen, medical bills, what have you, a lot of things comes up. And when you begin to have that mindset that, okay, when this thing comes up, did I have to find myself in a position where I have to make a decision to sell up my investments? No, you don't want to do that to yourself. Because let me tell you, the moment you begin to do that, at the end of the day, for you to pick up yourself, to start that investment journey back, becomes very, very difficult. I need to understand that as we keep going in this economy, it's very, very important for you to protect your money against inflation. And at present, I feel like we have inflation around 16%. And yes, a lot of people will tell me that this doesn't reflect the current market situations, probably increase in price of food, and probably, but I feel like we are beginning to see this effect. Bit of waste, please. I'm not affiliated to any political party, and I'm speaking from the fact that we could have found rice at 80,000 naira per house before, and now we're finding it at 50 or 60,000 naira. So when I talk about emergency fund, that's one first habit you have to build. So when you build an emergency fund, what do you need to do? You need to put this money in a IE savings account. And when I say IE savings account, please, I don't want you to go to your bank and just put this money there, because why? Your banks are literally making use of your money, while your money is, you're just eating up, and you are beginning to receive pennies for money that ought to be bringing you decent returns, or money that ought to be beaten up or meeting up with inflation rates. So when I'm talking about this, we have the likes of Carrywise, We have lives of carry-wise, where you have a money market fund, where you can actually put this money, and at the end of the day, this money begins to work for you. And the beautiful thing about this is that this money can be withdrawn anytime, but I'm not asking you to go there to withdraw this money anytime. That's why I say what? Even if I'm telling you this personal finance, it becomes what? From you being intentional and you becoming financially disciplined. So when you build this emergency fund, we also have the likes of piggy vest. You have, I think you have, there's this particular one that offers 17%, and which is quite okay. And you want to say something?
Sycamore.
Yes, I think piggy savings or something. Yes, that offers like 70%, even though that money is locked for a while, and you only have access to it like after 3 months, or probably you could make, you could input your withdrawal dates after a particular set. But I feel like this account, instead of keeping your money with the bank, where the bank just begins to use your money, and you're not really realizing something on it, this account will actually give you decent returns over time. So that's for your emergency savings. So once you cultivate that habit of emergency savings, that begins to open your mind to be able to know, okay, this is how I can begin to build. And that comes from what? Automation, which is very important, like I said. So you are not doing this manually, right? These apps allow you to what? Allows you to link your debit card with the app, so that automatically when your salary gets paid, this money are what? They are transferred into this account. So you don't have to do it manually, whereas, I'm at work, I've probably forgotten that I needed to put money into my emergency fund, and being that I've carried out an automation, and you just automatically do what? The money gets automatically deducted from what? From my bank account. So that's the first aspect. And the second aspect is that when it comes to building habits, now, I'm not asking you to go and carry the books of about finance, to go and begin to learn about finance, but I'm asking you that what? When it comes after the emergency fund, the next thing you need to do is to what? Is to begin to have basic knowledge around financial literacy. And why it's important is that if you're now going into the investment space, you need to know how to properly allocate your money, so that at the end of the day, you don't rush in and rush out. Because if you rush in, you rush out. And investment can be so funny, because a lot of people can come online that, it was because of this advice I listened to, that's why my money is gone. So it's very, very important for you to what? To also seek advice of financial experts when you are trying to make certain decisions too, when it comes to your investment. But starting simple is just as great as what? Allocating what? Funds that are needed for what? Expenses, right? You allocate funds that are needed for expenses, which comes like, let me name it as probably operational accounts. So I need to transport myself, I need to buy data, I need to, rent and all those types. Let's say an operational account. Then you have like a lifestyle account. Okay, I need to take entertainment once in a while. That's like a lifestyle account. And let's not say the main one, like maybe a vault account. And yes, as it is, name of my community is like the vault tribe. So let's say like a vault account where you now have what? Your savings and investments. But don't forget, I said something from the beginning. Your savings will what? Your savings will only protect you. But your investment will what? Will build you wealth on the long term. It will allow your money to grow. So you don't have to keep working for money all the days of your life. So you need to understand that what? You need to start making your money work for itself. So it's very, very simple. Develop that habit where you become what? Intentional with these things, and understand that what? A certain amount goes to expenses, certain amount goes to lifestyle, then certain amount goes to what? Goes to savings and investments. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Are we learning something? Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Toby, for that. Okay, so over to you, Oyinkotola. About planning for the future, right? People want a future where they are secure, where they feel secure, where they feel like, because people panic, right? But God, I don't have any savings, I don't have any investments, and can my small salary even get me to that place? And I noticed that in Nigeria, people actually, compared to the diaspora, people here don't have accounts like emergency fund or health insurance, right? Things like that, or even pensions. So what would your advice be to someone that's saying, you know what, I want to start actively planning for my future? What account do I need? And how do I go about it? Like, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so let me start by saying that planning for your future financially, it gives you this security in yourself. Like, it makes you feel safe that I have something put away somewhere. So I'll start from the top and I'll take it, I'll start from the bottom and I'll take it up. So the first base level planning for your future is definitely emergency fund. It's called emergency fund because it's a savings account for emergencies. And nobody prays for emergencies, but they happen anyway, right? So you have to plan for it. And why do you plan for it? You plan for it because if you don't plan for it and it comes, it scatters your whole finances. Say, for example, your phone gets stolen and you don't have an emergency fund, don't have money put away anywhere. What do you now have to do? You have to start borrowing, or you have to start looking for who is going to give you money. It's stressful. So that's the whole point of having an emergency fund. So your emergency fund should cover up to 3 to 6 months expenses, typically. So say, for example, 100K is what sustains you in a month comfortably. 100K can cover your feeding, your transportation, your light bill, your internet bill, everything. I'm just using 100K as an example. You know the amount that can sustain you. So if it is 100K, times that by 3, that's 300K. So your emergency fund should be at least 300K. Then at most, if you can do 600K, that's 6 months, that's awesome. So if you can have this put away somewhere, it secures you such that whatever happens, at least you have something put away. And also for people that might get laid off, I think they said Sterling laid people off this week, right? Exactly. So if you get laid off, or is it I don't know, one bank, but whatever happens, you can just have something on the side. So that's that about emergency fund. So for planning for your future, the reason you plan for your future is because you don't want to work all the days of your life. You are probably in your 20s now. You're not going to be as strong as you are in your 40s and your 50s. So you need to have a retirement age or a retirement number. What age do I want to retire? When do I want to stop working? That's a question that you need to ask yourself, especially if you're already earning and you have a career that you're building. So when you have your retirement age, you know when you want to retire. What next is for you to start planning towards it and tailoring your investments towards retirement. Say, for example, you want to retire at 50 and you are currently 25. You know that you have just 25 years left. And you ask yourself, the truth is you have to be honest with yourself. Even if you are lying to everybody, don't lie to yourself. I have somebody that said she wanted to retire at 40, but we have looked at how much she's making and how much she wants to retire with, and it's not looking possible. So you know that you have to stretch it a bit. So be honest with yourself and plan with honesty, basically. So you have a retirement age, have a retirement number. How much do you want to retire with? Is it $1 million? Is it $500,000? And don't be too, I'm a very ambitious person, but don't be realistic, right? The truth is you don't need a lot of money. That's what many people don't realize. You want to be a billionaire. You don't need to be a billionaire. Everybody's not going to be a billionaire. That's just the truth. So be realistic with yourself. How much do you need to sustain yourself and leave something like a trust fund for your kids or to give your kids good education? Those are the things that matter, right? Those are the things that you should prioritize. So consider those things in fixing your retirement number, and then look at the number of years you have left and your retirement number, and then you can start planning towards it. Now, this is easier for people that work 9 to 5. If you have a 9 to 5 job, your company probably has pension that they pay for. They set it up for you. You don't have to do anything. They set it up with the pension fund administrators, and they do everything for you. But if you are a business owner, or you are an entrepreneur, or you're a freelancer, and you don't have any company running your pension for you, you can actually do it yourself. It's called micro pensions. You can just go on Google and search for micro pensions. Micro pensions are pensions that individuals, that's entrepreneurs, people that don't work in corporate jobs or 9 to 5, can actually contribute every month by themselves. So you know how much your business generates, how much you make in your business. If it is 15K, 20K, 50K that you can put there, start considering doing that if you don't have a job that contributes to your pension. So there are different PFAs, that's pension fund administrators. There's Leadway, there's ARM, I think there's GT, there's Power Pensions that has now been acquired by Leadway. So just Google it, you'll see options that will come up, and you can pick one of those. Now, to insurance. Insurance is very important, especially health insurance. I think I made a tweet a couple of days ago. I said, please have health insurance. Just have it. It's important. If you can, obviously. If you can't, that's fine. But if you can, and you've assessed your financial health, and you know that this is something, okay, I can afford this in a year, please do it. If you also have a car, and you can afford car insurance, please get that as well. Again, some companies provide all these things for you if you work a 9 to 5, but if you don't have that in your company, it's something that you should start looking forward to. So just to recap what I said, emergency fund, if you don't have it, please start saving towards it. That's the first step to invest in. If you don't have a solid emergency fund, to be honest, you don't have any business investing. That's just the truth. Because if you invest without an emergency fund, when you now need money urgently, you now go and be liquidating your investments before it matures. You just wasted everybody's time. You wasted your time. You wasted the time of the people that are investing your money for you. Like, you just wasted so it's just better to have a solid emergency fund before anything. So get your emergency fund. It's a safety net. It's there to protect you and shield you from rainy days, because they will come. So have that. Next up, I said pension, right? Yes. And I also said if you are an entrepreneur, please get micro pensions. It's very easy to set up. You can go online, set it up yourself, pick a PFA, pension fund, or whatever, and just set up one for yourself. And the thing with micro pensions is that because you are doing it yourself, you have to be disciplined, right? As a 9 to 5, your company does it for you, whether you like it or not. It might annoy you when you see how much they are paying your pension that could have been coming to your bank account, but you don't have control over that. So your company does it for you, so it's easier for you. But if you are doing it yourself with micro pensions, it might be a lot harder. There will be times where you probably be tempted not to contribute. But remember that it's your future that you're playing with. So, and look around you. You don't want to be 50 and going to work every day. You don't want to be 60 and going to work. You don't want to be working actively in those years. So think about that. So that's that about pensions. And then I also talked about insurance. So those 3 things, very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, she deserves a round of applause for that. That was very insightful. Thank you. I was taking notes myself. So we are out of time. So just to wrap up, Oluchukwu, I'm just going to ask you, what is one tip that you're going to tell people to go from broke to busy, or booked rather, from broke to booked? What's one tip?
Okay, the first thing I'm going to say is, we all know that money stops nonsense. Yes or yes?
Yes.
So if you know that there is a tool that you have the power to create, to manage, to multiply, will you treat that tool anyhow? Will you treat that tool anyhow? No. So if you're right here, you're thinking, okay, what can I do? If you listen carefully to what Onye and Toby have said, they've literally given you formulas. First things first, you want to understand your basic of the basic expense. This is for you who has a 9 to 5, or you're a business person, or you're a creator, or you're currently even out of a job. When you understand the amount of money you need to survive every single month, as it is, you then need to multiply that money by 3 or by 6, e.g. 100K multiplied by 3, 300K, by 6, 600K. That is the money that you need in your emergency fund. Every other thing that you're thinking about, buying a new phone, buying a new car, buying a new gadget, whatever it is, those are secondary. The things that you need, like right now, today, is to be able to eat, have internet, have lights, and be okay. Plan your life around it. The excess of that money, first of all, you save, hit your emergency fund. Next, you start investing. For example, she was saying that you needed small money. Yes, you need small money. I started my investing journey all over again with 5,000 naira. Currently, my investment portfolio is worth 8 figures, and I'm still growing. What do? I make money. I know what I need to survive. I max that out. The remaining remnants, whether it is 1 million, whether it is 5 million, I put it aside. Because I know that by the time I'm in my 40s, in my 50s, I do not want to be working actively. If you're able to do this very simple thing, as simple as it may sound, that you need some sort of discipline, automating and whatnot, you have set yourself up for success. Fine, the numbers will be different for each and every one of us in this room, but this is the thing that every single person needs to be able to hack for themselves. And you're going to go from broke to booked. Was that what you said? Yes. But yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, this brings us to the end of this panel session. I'm sure you all have learned something, because I have. Thank you so much, Oyin, Toby, and Oluchukwu. Thank you.
Okay, can we take, okay, let's take a quick picture, and then we move right to the next session. Okay. So this is the last panel session for today. And then right after that, we'll move to the pitch for the laptop giveaway that we're organizing this evening. So this session is particularly special to me because we're looking at creators, designers, and the digital entrepreneurs, right? I mean, the world is going digital these days. Literally, for you to be anything, you have to be out there, whether as a creator, video creator, content creator, whichever way. And that's one of the things we're going to be looking at in this panel session, right? Okay, so right about now, I would be calling on the guests for this session. And please, as I welcome them, do well to put your hands together and join them.